Releasing your debut record is one of the most difficult things you could come into contact with as an artist. That is a label putting 150% of their confidence into you, that person who is going to be the forefront of their label, or you are the face of their label for that very moment, and they take that chance on you. If you don't provide something back for them in return, they'll see it as wasted investment. And even if you're releasing something on your own, you're putting your heart and soul into that. Every second that you sit by your computer or by your microphone, you're writing something. You're constantly writing something. You're rewording, you're writing again. And those bars may not fit, but it still sounds good, so you try and cut out some more. I'm trying to tell everybody, with this album, if you don't listen to it and give it the effort that you do with most records that are dropped on a weekly basis, you'll be missing out on one of the most prolific releases of 2019. And it's only January. Boogie has finally released his debut album on Shady Records, and this gives me the same kind of anticipation of what it felt like to be a Shady Records listener back in the early 2000s. When people first listened to 50 Cent, they felt that ground stomp when gangster rap became something that was founded with 50 Cent. It was one of the things that made a Shady Records signee. When they heard Obi Trice, when they heard D12. And then we tried to branch out and get some other artists. Seeing Yellow Wolf and Slaughterhouse signed to the record label was an amazing thing for me as a fan back in the day, because I found out about Yellow Wolf out of the total middle of nothing. This man popped up on a Big Crit remix, and I just listened to him for the heck of it. And then I listened to Pop the Trunk, and the rest was history. But it was a negative start to his history, and it was ultimately the end of Slaughterhouse. Everybody knows that when Welcome to Our House came out, it was a huge flop. So M decided to look at how he approached signing his artists. Yes, the two that he signed at the time were phenomenal, but it didn't yield positive results. So, as he redesigned the label and went away from looking at what was popping at the time to finding people that are more prolific and concerned with the culture and trying to spread a message, Westside Gunn and Conway the Machine were first to be signed last year, and it was phenomenal. Then, midway, we see this new guy come in, and all of a sudden he's signed. What the heck's going on? Where is this coming from? Why is he on the label? What does he sound like? You see how deep he can write. It's almost like M wanted to find his own Kendrick Lamar. Now, that's no comparison, because Boogie and Kendrick are two totally different artists. But do they make the same kind of impact in their music? Most definitely. Boogie tells a story unlike any other with this album, talking about what it's like to deal with the stresses of loving and losing, the stresses of dealing with making music, but also wanting to be a father. Not even want to deal with your friends because they want to hang out in Hollywood. JID's featured on this record, which is also referencing the Soho track. And M is on this record, proudly representing with giving a middle finger to everyone like he normally does. And Black is on this record. A very strange collaboration that I did not expect, but every song on here is something that can hit you back to back to back. I've listened to this album several times today, and every time I've listened to it, it's gotten heavier with its impact. This is something that everybody needs to listen to, because although you may be feeling down and you may feel like that something is going to hold you back, everything is on your shoulders, but you have a story to tell. And everything you have to tell is on sale. Would you like to listen to my story? That, to me, is how Boogie wanted to market this album. He even released a short film that was dedicated to the marketing of this album. This is the most intricate I've ever seen a Shady Records release ever been. M has done a couple stints here and there when he came back to the scene, but not even his signees have done something so intricate and in-depth. It is something so different, and I am very, very happy to see what Boogie has in the future of Shady Records. And I'm even more excited to see what Conway the Machine and Westside Gunn have to bring to the table this year. Hopefully. If they don't, we'll take the time and listen to them in the process. But that's all that I have to say on this record. I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend you guys listen to it. Some of my favorite songs on here were just featured in the cuts of the short film. And one of them was Soho, which features JID. And it's just a very powerful record in general. It lets you know the ups and downs and how truly harrowing the feeling of depression may be, although you may have all this success around you. So with that being said, I'll see you guys next week. I'm going to be dropping a surprise review on one of my friends in the underground here. And when that happens, hopefully you guys will want to listen to it as much as I wanted to listen to this record. Enjoy your weekend. Stay selfish. Peace.